So today we're talking about color. So I always love to ask this question when we start up classes and stuff. What would you like to know about color, just in general? What is anything you would like to know? Always had a question about, yes sir,
What the hell's a toner?
what is a toner?
Oh, what is it? What is a toner?
There we go. What else? What else would you like to know about color?
How to neutralize a certain color
And that's kind of the same thing.
as toner.
Another one.
Yes?
So, how long do we have to leave the purple shampoo in your hair? You know what I mean? Purple shampoo.
And does conditioner really make a difference? Or purple conditioner make it?
Tell me that again.
Like with the purple conditioner, same thing as still like the time. Does that, and then does it even really matter if you use the purple conditioner if you're already using a purple shampoo?
Let's just talk about I'm gonna put shampoo / conditioner.
Yeah, I got that.
And what those do and don't do. Let's talk about that. What they do and what they don't do.
So
Yes,
how-
ma'am.
How to how would I say this? I guess go from different colors. Like if someone had a blue and they trying to go like red or something of sort.
Blue to red.
Want to go virgin hair versus artificial hair?
Sure.
There you go.
When would you need a filler color?
Like,
Wow, that's a lot of cool questions. Yes, ma'am.
like, okay, so I kind of got two, but one would be like if you're, like for instance, my hair color blonde, and then you want to go lighter, but not like super white, I guess. Like you want to go platinum, but not over process it where it didn't change or whatever. I'm not really sure.
And I guess how long to leave like dye in the hair for? No. Bleach.
Timing,
Yeah, timing, bleach, dye.
color,
I think I had mine for like 40
and
minutes.
decolorizer.
I was playing Black Ops and everything.
Wow, that's some good questions.
What if you get, like, you dye your hair a certain color and then it comes out not even the color because your hair was different tones?
Ask me again.
Like, okay, so if you, like, for instance, I have to use a violet
Accidental tone?
because I have more red natural tones or red in my hair. So if I dye it from, or whatever, it comes out orangish. Does that make sense?
Let's talk about, we're gonna talk about undertones. Would that be a good goal? Yes, ma'am.
Okay, it's kind of like what she was asking, but like, let's say I went platinum and I went and used a permanent platinum on my hair, and after it was blonde and it turned like bright blue. How would you fix that? Or like, what would that be?
Overtone, what do you wanna call that, overtoning?
Overtoning? Okay. Well, it was
Like
just-
your hair turns purple instead of,
Well, so like when I say like I've used like permanent, it's like the permanent platinum of like Wella or
Right.
something. And when I put it on, it was fine, and then 5 minutes later it's processing, and it's like bright blue, like Smurf blue.
right,
Yeah, that. And then you can't get it out.
you can get it out,
Well, I had
you
to
can,
use-
but
How'd you do it?
Well, let's talk about that. So, and let's talk about permanent color and demi-permanent color versus demi. Because those are going to do two different things for you. Cool. Is that enough? That's quite a bit. That's quite a bit. So what I would love so there are rules and laws to color, pretty much. There's principles. So the principle of if I drop drop the marker, if I let go of this marker, what's going to happen? Pretty much. And that's pretty much true about hair color. There are times we will get some stuff that we're not planning on. You know, we are working on, you know, not synthetic hair, but we're working on live hair and all that. So sometimes there are exceptions to the rules, but as a general rule, there are certain laws of color. For example, permanent hair color will not lighten to much degree of artificial colored hair. For example, that would be a rule. So we're going to work on a lot about laws of color. So what I would love for everybody to do, because everybody's coming to the class with some kind of knowledge about color, right? You've seen it on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, whatever. Everybody or somebody's told you this or that or the other. So what I would really, really love for you to do is put all your color information in a shoebox, and we're going to put it in a closet, and you're going to put it away. So what I've done in different circumstances, I'll go to different classes, but instead of saying, well, Miss Karen said this, I'm going to leave that alone, and I'm going to hear whatever somebody's going to say, and then at the end of the day, I'm going to decide, do I take their information and add it to my shoebox, or do I take other old information out and throw it away and add to? So as you go along and take classes, you're going to learn different things from different stylists, different artists, and some of them will contradict each other. So don't be surprised on that. Find what works for you, because I've taken a ton of classes, and this class is kind of an amalgamation of all those classes. So I'm learning things, and I'll go to another class and it's like, I didn't know that, or whatever. So always build on that, but put everything kind of in a shoebox, put it in the back and out of the way. So when your brains fall out of your heads, I want you to say, stop. I cannot take you anymore. Yes, ma'am.
I'm here for your
Sit.
class, yeah.
So when your brains fall out of your head, please let me know. Is that cool? And we'll take a break. If you don't understand something, I don't mind repeating it. I don't know how many times. I don't care. I don't think any less of any one of you if you don't understand and have a question. So don't be scared, don't be shy. Be sure to ask me questions. I don't understand. That was confusing. You know, I hate you and I don't understand. Whatever you want to tell me, tell me. Also, too, another thing I'm going to ask, a big thing. You might have a question that I'm going to answer in maybe 10 minutes or tomorrow. And I might say to you, hey, write that down for me, because we're going to take that later. Or if it's a haircut question, we don't need to answer that right now, but I don't want to ignore your question. So I might say, hey, let's take that to the parking lot, okay? Or write that down for me, and we'll get to that in a minute. Whatever it is, this way you don't forget what your question is that I don't answer. So be sure to do that, because sometimes I do this in a certain order and all that good stuff. So that's kind of the general rules of the day. Sound cool? Cool. 2 days. So we've talked about this a little bit, but I want to go over some of this. So we've got this little hair here. What is it made of? There are 1, 2, 3, 4 things that this is made of. Coming out of the top of your head.
Beautiful. That's the hair.
Who said that? Good. It is made of, and I'll get back to what you said in a minute, so don't put that away. So protein.
You're right.
So protein is what gives our hair the strength. It's 70 to 80% of the hair structure itself. And those are known as the disulfide bonds. If we break those too much, we break the hair. If we break them too much, we affect your curl pattern, things like that. And so let me ask you this one while I'm thinking about it. So our hair is protein, so why does my hair not feel like a raw steak or a raw piece of chicken? Because those are protein also.
Keratin.
Different texture.
So somebody said it started with a K.
Keratin.
Keratin. Our hair is keratinized. It is it's hardened. It's got strength. That's why it's not mushy. Is it the same hardness? Ooh, I like her hair. Can I touch your hair? Is the keratin the same hardness from scalp all the way to the end?
No.
No. Good call. And we're going to talk about that later. So, with keratin, anytime I use color or decolorizer on you guys, I am going to, on color, I'm going to do 10% damage to your hair. I will be damaging 10% of your color. Now, if you've had it colored 10 times before that, you just add 10 more. If I use decolorizer on there, I'm going to do 15 to 20% damage on your disulfide bonds or your protein. Why is it important to know that?
Because you don't want to do too much to the hair.
Exactly. Sometimes if I've done a relaxer, I can't put decolorizer or bleach on top of that. It's too much. It will break. What else?
I'm sorry, I have to step out.
Okay, that's great. So is the other thing, is it also our job to repair the hair? So is there anything wrong with selling to your client, instead of just conditioning their hair, is there anything wrong with selling your client a treatment?
Nope.
So the two things we do damage in that, these are going to blow around. Two things we're going to damage is the protein and the moisture. There is no reason in the world that we should not be offering our client a way to repair that. Conditioner lays on the outside of the hair. Treatments go on the inside of the hair. And this is where the sulfide bonds live. And the strength of the hair is on the interior of the hair. So I always encourage you guys, acidic bonding, Vermectin, Olaplex, whatever method you can do as a treatment, be sure to offer that. Will you get more money at the end of the day when you offer a treatment?
Definitely.
Most treatments are $20. There's $10 in your pocket. So there's a good reason to use it because we've damaged it, but also another good reason to do it is your pocketbook. Okay? So tell me, there's 3 other things that are inside your hair. 2 of them you always say, oh my God, my hair is so. Lipids. Lipids. So that is the oil. That's the natural thing coming out of the scalp. Lipids account for 3 to 6% of your hair. Oh my God, my hair is so. You say this to me all the time. I hear this. Oh my God, my ends are so dry. Yeah, some of them are a little dead and crispy because the sulfide bonds have been broken too many times. But moisture. There is moisture in the hair. And that is 10 to 15%. There's also carbohydrates, there's some other stuff, and all that. But those are the main 3 things. So putting protein and moisture in your treatment back in the hair after doing color is really, really a good idea. So what else is in the hair? And it's kind of like what we're talking about today.
Pigment?
Melanin.
Melanin, the color of your hair, the natural melanin. So there are two types of melanin in the hair. There is eumelanin. I cannot spell. And phenomelanin. So how many of you were born with naturally brown to dark hair? Okay, so you guys have eumelanin. Is there anyone in here that is a natural blonde or redhead? Your melanin is known as phenomelanin. Will you ever see that again? All the things we're talking about right here, that's stuff you could see on your written state board test. Okay, and we do need to know about the actual fiber that we're working on. It's going to make a difference. Okie dokie? So, we talked about this a second ago. Someone mentioned this. So we got our little hair here. So let's talk about the structure of the hair. What is the outer layer of the hair called? You said it for me a minute ago. Yeah, the cuticle. So the cuticle, it actually goes this way, but I'm going to draw it this way. And that's a dud. There we go. So I'm going to draw it this way. They're overlapping. They're almost like a tile on a roof. So it's protection. The more it's slammed closed, the better it is for your hair color, especially artificial color. It doesn't fall out. So, we talked about this the other day, what kind of things, we talk about porosity, what kind of things will cause porosity? Does anybody know what porosity is? I'm sorry?
The hair's ability to accept moisture.
Right, so this slams everything down, kind of like water off a duck's back, like feathers. So this slams it down. If we're missing cuticles and things like that, that's when we get porosity, when we over bleach hair, when we do too many things. If we blow dry up the hair, Nisha's always telling you blow dry down the hair shaft. If you're blowing up, you're going to get frizziness because you're blowing the tiles of the roof open. Alkalinity is what raises these up in the hair coloring process. Okay? So there are some times when we put color on there, the cuticle raises up, so the color goes in. And the reason this is important to know is certain hair color will lay on different parts of the structure. So what's this internal area of the hair called? We've got the outer, which is the cuticle. What's the inside called?
Cortex?
Say it.
Shaft?
No, sir.
Cortex?
Cortex. Good guess, though. Cortex. So, some hair colors will lay inside the cortex. Some hair colors will lay on the inside edge. Some will land on the outside edge. Some will lay on the cuticle, and some under the cuticle. Each different type of hair color will land in a different place. Yes, sir.
Do we get cuties?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So that's going to be part of this. And that's going to be a part of this. Because those will land in different places when we apply them. But it's important to know the structure. There's one other part of the hair that we never affect. Some of you will have it, some of you won't have it. What's it called? The medulla. But we do not affect it. Some people with super fine hair will not even have it. So it's a no big deal, but it's one of those things you should probably know. There we go. There's the structure of the hair. I know Miss Nisha's talked about this. Talked about texture of the hair. So I think of hair as fiber. It's like cotton, silk, or burlap. You know, when you just pull the thread off the fabric. So I think of hair as being one of those things. There's design texture, which is straight, curly, coily, wavy, all that. But the actual texture of the hair, does anybody know the 3 textures of the hair?
Curly.
That's design texture.
Fine.
Fine,
Course.
coarse, medium. Good going. So why is it important when I do someone's hair? You know, I'm checking it out and all this. Why is it important for me to see what the texture of the hair is?
To determine the processing time.
Absolutely. So if I've got someone with super fine hair, do I want to turn my flat iron up to 450 or my curling iron to maximum temperature? Would I want to leave the product on the longest recommended time? No. Do I want to use the highest developer to start out with? No. So it's about your processing time, what products you're going to use. You know, if somebody has super fine hair, I may not go above 20 volume. Or if I do go above it, I know I'm not going to leave it on very long. So timing. Somebody has this color, timing. So on our manufactured charts, it will tell you the processing times. On this permanent hair color line, it's 35 to 45 minutes. So on my fine hair, how long am I going to keep it on? 35. So if I have coarse, resistant gray hair, how long am I going to leave it on? 45. Absolutely. So you know when you go up to your chart how long to leave that on your client. And processing time, and I don't know if I'm jumping into this really too early or not, but processing time, each of the dye molecules arrive to the party at different times, okay? So I'm giving a dinner party, and we're all going to sit down at 7 o'clock, and we are going to eat, okay? So before dinner, though, we are going to serve appetizers and drinks. So what time are you going to come to the party? Okay, so she's going to be she is going to be right there at 7 o'clock. You know, they're sitting a plate in front of her at the same time she's sitting in the chair. She's going to be the last person. Who's going to have drinks? Yeah, she's going to have drinks. So she's going to be there at 5 o'clock. And somebody's going to be at 6 because they want snacks and drinks and dinner. That's how hair color works. Some dye molecules come to the party right off the bat. Some of them come at the very, very end. That's why we need to watch those processing times and also not go over them. You know, you're talking about your hair turning bright blue. Could have been one of two things. You may have been seeing the first dye molecule showing up, which is okay, or you left it on way too long. One of the two things. So there's direct dyes. Direct dyes show up first, and sometimes we see them and freak out and wash it off. but then not all the people have come to the party, and you're not gonna get the color you want. Okay, does that help? Does that give you a little idea about that? And does that give you the idea of what my timing is for the different textures of hair? Okay? So, let's also talk about a word called density. Does anybody know what density is?
Density.
Does anybody know what density is?
It's like how
It's like
much hair
mass.
per
Something
inch.
to do with weight, no?
It is in that case. In terms of hair, what is density? Could it be, so how many of you, if you put your ponytail,
How
if
thick
you
it
put
is?
your hair in a ponytail, is it this big or is it that big? Okay, if your ponytail's as big as a drain pipe, that means you have a lot of hairs coming out of your scalp. There are some people that don't have as many, and you're gonna get a little skinny. So I need to also check when I look at my client, how much hair do they have on their head? Do they have a ton of hair? Or do they have 15 hairs to make a hairstyle? And why would that be important for color?
How much do you need?
How much product you will need, absolutely. Would it also matter on my sectioning when I'm applying color? If somebody has tons and tons of hair, you might want to go smaller than the 1/4 inch partings. You want to get good saturation, so you want to look at your client and say, well, I've got to make some smaller sections, get this done. And truth be, if we're talking about product, most color procedures are based on the money. So for example, my color price is $70. That counts for 2 ounces of color. If I have to break out 3 ounces of color, do I need to charge for that?
Yes.
Do I need to give my clients a heads up? Because she's expecting to pay $70. When I did the initial consultation, it was like, my color price is $70. But girlfriend, you got a lot of hair. So I may be going over, I do have an additional color price. The biggest problem sometimes you can get into is when you get up to the front desk to ring her up, or have somebody else ring her up, and her price ticket went from 100 to 150, is she gonna be a little upset?
Yeah.
Or if she didn't bring cash or cash credit or whatever that day, is she gonna be a little embarrassed?
Yes.
Is she gonna come back?
No.
Probably not. So, anytime you're gonna go above and beyond, you might wanna let your client know. So also, that being said, if she wants your eyebrows done, if she wants this done, she wants that done, we're gonna do this, you do wanna remind, that is an add-on service, that is an add-on. I would love to do that. Believe me, I would love to do as much as you want me to do, but I don't want her to think it's all inclusive. I know where I work, it's a la carte. So, color means color, it doesn't mean color, blow dry, haircut, and all that. Depends on where you're working. But anyways, density, that's why density is important. We, the other day, already talked about this one, but I do want to go over it again. We got a little person's head here, and we've got the hair standing straight up, and the hair falling straight down. So we talked the other day about zones. We did this when we talked about color application. So we had zone 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, 3. There's 1. And anything usually past the shoulder, I'm going to call 3. What do I need to be careful of in zone 1? What will happen if I lighten hair in zone 1?
Quickly.
It does it quickly.
Yeah.
Does anybody remember why?
It's not as keratinized.
It's not as keratinized. So zone 1 not as much keratin. If I'm lightening hair, I will get lighter and brighter there, creating hot roots. So do I want to start my lightening process in zone 2?
Yes.
It takes longer. It takes more power. It takes longer. Hair's been around, all that. Remember we did virgin tint to lighten? We put it on the mid shaft, then went back in our zone 1 and zone 3. What can happen at zone 3 hair? What happens? It's lived a lot. It's a little stressed. It could, but what could happen in terms of the color? What could it look like? Sorry? It could be, it could go darker and ashier. So this is why I want to be careful when I tone on zone 3 hair. It can go darker and ashier. So, also, any of you that have used a colorizer on your hair, you have zone 3 hair. Wherever that decolorizer, wherever the blonde's sitting, because it's like you've got highlights, you've got some dark hair. Even though he's got super short hair, he has zone 3 hair. It's been previously lightened. His hair, your hair can go darker and ashier than you want it. Have you had that happen? Yeah. It's gone gray on the ends. Yeah. So we always want to be careful on pre-lightened hair when we formulate, because it can be ashier than we're planning on. So that's why this is important. Each of the zones could be 3 different formulas, or you could be using the same formula but a different developer. But you're going to learn that as you go along. Okay? But you need to be aware of it now so that you're not going to get, whoop, surprise, I get a color correction off of day 1. Okay, so if I draw right down here, can everybody see? If I draw right in that area, can you see? Everybody good? Cool. So we talked about our pH scale the other day. We talked about this. You should have talked about this or read about it some also in your shampoo chapter you just took a test on, right? Mm-hmm. So, a couple questions. Does anybody know what numbers our pH scale starts with and ends with?
0.
14.
I hear 0.
14.
14.
7 is the middle.
14. Good going. Cool. So, is this side, what's this side considered? Acidic. Absolutely. What's this side considered? You guys are good. Alkaline. So, what's 7?
Neutral.
Neutral, and that would be?
Us.
No. Water. H2O. And it is, honestly, it's deionized water, but you know, that doesn't come out of the tap. Where do you and I live on the pH scale?
4.4, 4.5, 5.5.
Did I hear 4.5 to 5.5?
Yes.
Yeah, I certainly did. Is everybody different in this room?
Yes.
Yeah. Like I can't wear metal eyeglasses. So that means I'm lower on the pH scale. I can't wear metal eyeglasses, they'll eat on me and all that kind of stuff. So we're here. So, what lives on the alkaline side of the scale?
Was that the shampoo?
Like relaxer?
Shampoo should, remember we lined all those products up?
Like a perm?
So remember, there were 2 of the shampoos that were about here. They were Head and Shoulders. And I can't remember what the other one was, but that was about here. Somebody said relaxer. Did I hear relaxer?
Yes.
So my relaxers are 13, 14.
Bleach, right?
Yes, absolutely. My decolorizers are anywhere from 9 to 11. Let me get my cheat sheet, because I do have one.
Or is that thing that burn my skin? Was that the bleach?
Yes, yes. And let me recommend to you that you do not put 30 volume on your scalp. Usually it is not recommended. I lost my cheat sheet. Nope, not there. Anyways, so my lighteners are here. My colors are around 7, 8, 9. So that's color and all that. So what happens if I have alkalinity, that's what's going to lift my cuticle up and allow that to go inside the hair. There's one color line that's acidic. It will raise it up, but it won't let it go all the way inside. Okay? Yes, and that's a demi-permanent. Whoever said that, yay, yay, yay for you. Good going. There is an acidic color line. Let's talk about where would the colorizers live? I'm sorry, like the developers live.
I'm gonna go with acid.
Do what? Are developers lower than we are? Are they more acidic? Yes, absolutely. They're over here. So has anybody put their little hands in the developer? You will get an acid burn. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. So why is this important? Kind of why is that any of this important to know?
You need to know how to neutralize, how to bring your hair back to the natural state.
Yes, how to get your hair back from alkalinity into natural state. What else? Mixing ratio. So I need to put 1 part color. Normally, I put 1 part color, the 1 part developer. Am I going to cause somebody a scalp burn? No. They neutralize each other out, they do their job, and I'm not damaging someone's scalp or their hair. Okay? That's why you always weigh color, measure color, whatever you need to do, and also you'll get the same result every time. Yes, ma'am?
How come on some of them it's 2-1?
Good question. There are hair color lines that are 1 part color, 2 part developer. They tend to lighten the hair more. They tend to lighten the hair more. Those are high lift colors. Is T18 one of those?
No.
I know Pulp Riot has 1 color line.
Well, the toner, I use a T14 and it's 1-1.
Okay,
But my hair color is 2-1.
okay. Probably you're using high lift color.
Yes.
You're going to get 5 levels of lift versus 4. Okay. Okay. And do pay attention to that on the bottle, because it is chemistry. I can't make it anything else than it is, because that's the way the manufacturer made it. So always follow those manufacturer's directions. They're going to be on your litho charts or your color charts. It will tell you the length of time. It will tell you the mixing ratio and all that. Yes, ma'am.
What's the highest developer you would use on the scalp, like if you're doing a retouch?
What product am I using? Lightener. Do not, most lighteners recommend on the scalp, do not go above 20. There's a couple exceptions, but as an average, most lighteners, not over 20 volumes. Okay? Hey,
This is what happens.
so, good to know. You will find in the salon, all the perms here in our school are gonna be acidic. There are no alkalinic perms here. Still, if you've got 2 tons of highlights, you might not want to do a perm on that. You're gonna get mushy spaghetti at the end of the day. it'll be stretchy, it'll be icky. So you wanna make sure you don't overdo on the alkaline surfaces. Cool? Here's one. If a lady does permanent hair color and a perm, which one would I wanna do first? Perm, absolutely. Perms will fade artificial hair color. How many weeks should we wait between our perm and our color? 2. Absolutely. Okay? And you will notice when you do your perm, you will see artificial color on your perm papers. The only color service you can do on her that same day is this acidic perm, which is a demi-permanent color. So if she's faded too much, you can fix it, but that's about the only hair color service you can do on her. Okie dokie. Let's see if there's anything else I left out. Here's the thing, big thing, and somebody just talked this about me. Taking our hair, so we've done these processes on there, putting the hair back into pH balance, and why that's important. So if I rinse all this stuff out of her hair, am I back at pH balance? No. Is her cuticle still lifted up?
Yes.
Is her hair color gonna wash out easier?
Yes.
Absolutely. So I really need to take my client back to pH balance or under. I wanna seal that cuticle down. So if I'm doing my treatments like I'm supposed to, the treatments are gonna get locked inside. Also, the color is gonna get locked inside. Most of my treatments and sealers are a pH of 3. That's really gonna close that cuticle down, keep your color from fading. Hot water, a lot of times, is your customer's least best friend because hot water can raise the cuticle, red dye molecules will flush out. I saw something interesting on Instagram or Facebook or one of them. Somebody got a flat iron on artificially colored hair, and they did it at 350. The hair color stayed. At 450, it shattered the dye molecules. So whatever toner was on her hair, it was back to chicken yellow. So what's the flat irons on artificially colored hair? It breaks the dye molecules and will fade the hair. I mean, it was crazy just watching one pass of a flat iron. It was breaking up that hair color, and it was crazy. Anyways, anytime and let's say this also, anytime we're using hot tools, blow dryer, flat iron, curling iron, we need heat protection. We've got to do that, or we're damaging our client's hair. Because what we're doing is we're removing the lipids and the moistures first. Once you get rid of those, you're going to start breaking the protein. Yes, sir.
So what do you do? Like, let's say you bleached or whatever, you did whatever to somebody's hair, and they're like, yeah, I want my hair straightened now. Would you recommend
Sometimes
it?
on some people I'll say, no, let's let our hair, let's just do a blow dry today. Or I might do a steam flat iron because I'm sealing moisture in. I might do a steam flat iron, but I'm gonna probably not recommend, especially on reds first day. And I'm certainly not gonna crank it up. And believe me, if somebody says to you, would it be okay if I didn't fade your hair color today? Would they probably go, yeah, I'm good for that. Okay? So on our hot tools, you gotta use heat protection, and keep the temperature low. Because if she still wants it curled, whatever, just keep the heat on the lower settings. Okay? Is that good? How would you guys like to take a 10-minute break?
I would like that a lot.
Cool. Let's do that. I'll see you